changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the Shady Sports Network and on the Buckeye Mike channel. Of course, as you can tell, we got the Final Four logo up, and we're going to be talking some March Madness. Now, this video is going to be a complete overhaul of the tournament. We're going to give you a full breakdown of each region. I'm going to give you my Final Four and who my champion is going to be. So that being said, let's get into it. So we're going to start in the East. UConn is the top seed. They're going to take on Stetson. FAU Northwestern in the 8-9. San Diego State drew the 5. They will take on UAB. Auburn and Yale at the 4-13. 6-11 is BYU and Duquesne. 3-14 is Illinois, Morehead State. 7-10 is Washington State Drake. And the 2-15 is Iowa State, South Dakota State. One thing I want to note is that this region has to be one of the easiest regions in this year's tournament. I do think UConn is going to come out of it. I think the Elite Eight East Regional Final will be Iowa State UConn. There is a few possible upsets here. Because that Yale Auburn matchup is interesting. I want to say Yale is going to win, but I mean, look at what Auburn just did in the SEC championship game and just how they've been as a whole up and down. Up and down the floor, up and down their roster. Auburn is really good and well deserving of the 4 seed. So that could be an interesting game, one to keep your eye on. I want to draw your attention next to Washington State and Drake. I do think that there could possibly be something there. I think probably in for a lower scoring kind of game and a close game most of the way. Although I do see Washington State likely to pull it out. That's what I would go with. So yeah, as far as that in the first round, that's kind of where I sit. I do think UConn essentially is going to win the East. All right, next we have the West. North Carolina, Alabama, Baylor, and Arizona are your 1 through 4. In the West, this seems pretty cut and dry for the most part. I think the Elite Eight again is going to be North Carolina, Arizona, the 1-2. Now, if we look here in the West, there's a lot more potential for upsets here. St. Mary's definitely on upset alert. They did start the season 3-5 and lost a bunch of key games that would have eventually helped them. So Grand Canyon runs a style of offense that can really put the game into their favor. And I like Grand Canyon to pull off a 12-5 upset. And then Charleston, Alabama is one that I would also keep your eye on. I think Charleston could pull it off there. And the 6-11 in this one is interesting because it's New Mexico and Clemson. And the 7-10 Nevada Dayton. I think that could possibly be an upset. I think it might be a close one. But yeah. So in the West region final, the Elite Eight, I got North Carolina and Arizona are my thoughts on it. And now we go to the South. Houston, Duke, Kentucky, and Marquette are your 1 through 4s for this region. There are some possible upsets in this bracket as well. James Madison, Wisconsin. I think James Madison has the style of offense and has the capability to do what it takes to pull off an upset. NC State, Texas Tech could possibly be one. I think Texas Tech probably more likely pulls it out. And Kentucky, if they play 25% of the style of defense that they have played all year, then they'll be fine. They are a team that just doesn't seem to want to play defense. Kentucky, that is. I think with the heavy injuries to Florida, that if Colorado beats Boise State in the first 4, that Colorado probably beats Florida. More than likely beats Florida. Honestly, so in the Sweet 16, I think we're going to end up with Houston and Duke. And Kentucky, Marquette, if they don't screw around and mess things up this year. If Kentucky gets that far, then maybe they get beat. I mean, I have Houston in the Elite Eight in the regional final. I look at this bracket and I don't know who I would say that they would play. They could literally play just about anyone. And the reason that I put the NC State Texas Tech game out there as far as like, watch out, this could be an upset. NC State just took down Virginia, Duke, and North Carolina back to back to back. Like it was nothing. They took them down with ease. So NC State is definitely a dangerous team. For sure. All right. And our last region, Purdue, Kansas, Creighton, and Tennessee are your top 4 for the region. I think it's a decent top 4. I think I think Purdue is set up perfectly for the Virginia story. When Virginia lost to a 16 in 2017. No, yeah, 2017, and turned around and won the title lost in 2018 to a 16 and turned around in 2019 and won it all. I don't think Purdue has the capability and the firepower to win it all, but they can go a very, very long way. Absolutely, positively, absolutely, for sure. So the Elite Eight matchup for the Midwest, I'm thinking it's going to be Purdue and Creighton. Because as much as I want to say Tennessee, I do not trust in or believe in Tennessee, just because of their tournament history. They tend to lose early or have a slip up when they shouldn't because they're so much better than the other team. So that's a tricky one. There are a few possible upsets here in this bracket. We'll start 8-9. I know it's kind of like, well, they're pretty much the same or they're even because 8 is only less than 9 by 1. But I think TCU could pull off the upset there over Utah State. The 5-12 for the Midwest, McNeese and Gonzaga. I do think that McNeese really could pull off the upset here against Gonzaga. Now you're probably thinking, Buckeye Mike, what are you talking about? That's insane. That's crazy. But yeah, I definitely think they could. If Kansas isn't 100% and doesn't play to their absolute best, absolutely could lose to Samford. I think Samford has a really good chance of beating Kansas because the way they run the offense is in Samford's favor, and they do tend to be tight on the defense and force you to take bad shots if need be. Now, a lot of people said Akron Creighton could be an upset. I mean, it could be, but I think the Blue Jays will get to a point where it is kind of close and they're coming out of a timeout and they're like, well, you know what? This is dumb. This is ridiculous. It shouldn't be this close. And then eventually they'll just pull away with it. Oregon, South Carolina could be interesting. The 6-11. I think that one's probably best for Oregon. So to me, that seems the most likely and logical explanation and option. And I mean, St. Peter's was in the same spot that they are in now 2 years ago when they went on that magical run all the way to the Sweet 16 when they lost to North Carolina. So it is possible for St. Peter's to do it again. I don't think they will. I trust Tennessee just enough to pull off the win. So the whole reason we made this video is because of this right here, the Final Four. So you say, Buckeye Mike, who is your Final Four? Well, my Final Four is UConn against North Carolina and Houston against Purdue. Now, I do not advise anyone at all, to go with these four, because all number ones is highly unlikely, and you are bound to most likely have your bracket ruined. Because someone in a region is going to just go off and have an amazing NCAA tournament run. With that being said, I got Houston over Purdue. Purdue falls ever so slightly just short of making that complete Cinderella turnaround run from utter humiliation to national champion. And Houston is going to take on UConn in the championship, in my opinion, because overall I think UConn is built for this. UConn is ready for this. They have a target on their back, and they don't even play like they got a target on their back because they refuse to acknowledge it. And you know what? I'm okay with it, because that is honestly the way it should be. And who do I have cutting down the nets? Well, the UConn Huskies, of course. The UConn Huskies will repeat as champion. Mark my words. Well, folks, there you have it. That's our road to the Final Four and crowning of a national champion. Stay tuned right here to the Buckeye Mike and Shady Sports Network channels for more videos like this, as we are going to do previews for every game that we possibly can. Definitely will, as the field starts to trim down and get smaller, because there'd be less games to do. But yeah, if you love this basketball coverage, click the like button. Give us a like down there. Follow both channels. Hit the notification bell so you never miss another video. It builds morale. And keep that dial right here, as we got you covered on Shady Sports Network with all of your sports coverage that you're looking for. So with that, I want to wish everyone a wonderful, wonderful day. Have a wonderful, lovely, great, amazing kind of day. And we will see you a little bit later in the next video.